Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to start the adventure of video editing. Now remember, there's many different video editing programs, but there are some basics in terms of how we should approach editing. There's some tips and tricks and certain things like that, different sections to editing. So that's the purpose of this lesson here, is to help you figure out what are some of the different sections of editing, what to do and when to do them, what kind of order to do these different tasks in. So there's this is kind of just a generic thing. This is kind of usually what I do for when I edit my videos. There's not necessarily a right or wrong answer for this. There's some certain things you should do before others, but this is kind of a general outline of how I edit my videos, and I think how a lot of people also edit theirs. So you can pause here and take a look at this, and this will also be provided on Google Classroom. So this is what I'm going to show you. The very first thing that you got to do is choose the clips that you want to use. So you should have multiple different video clips that you took when you're filming. Let's say you did a scene 3 times, you tried it 3 times or maybe even 5 or whatever, and you filmed it. Hopefully you filmed it extra. You filmed extra of what you actually need. So if you needed 5 seconds of that clip, hopefully you have like 8 seconds or something like that. You started a little bit early and then you ended it a little late when you're filming. That will allow you to then more easily trim the clips. So what that looks like for me, and this is with Adobe Premiere, so this is a little bit more complicated program. I wouldn't recommend using this to start out with if you've never done editing. Not maybe the most friendly program to start with. So I have my clips organized. So here's all my video clips. And then what I can do is I can view my video clip, and there's a slider here. I can go fast, so you want to think about efficiency. So this is a 10-minute clip. A 10-minute clip, and I'm only using this section right here. So I'm trimming this clip. I'm like, okay, well, I really only want this section from here to here. And then I can actually choose if I just want the video or the audio as well. So then I would drag this, what I want, I drag it into my timeline. So then most video editing programs, there's going to be some sort of timeline that's like your sequence of your video. So this down here is my timeline for this video, and then I plop it in order. So then, okay, great, I got that. Now let me grab the next clip. Okay, so I got this here, and I'm going to use this from here. I'm not going to use the whole thing. Maybe I cut out right here because I don't know, maybe it's just not interesting or some weird noises happen or whatever. So I take that and then I put it behind the other thing if that's the sequence that I want. So first, choose the clips you want, have them organized in a folder, trim them up, and then put those clips in order. Put them in the order that you want. It's like, so you're building your story. It's going to look kind of rough. The video is just going to, you have a video scene, it's going to cut, bam. It's just going to be kind of rough. There's no flow or anything like that. That's okay at this point. Just get that stuff laid out. Get it in order. And then, so this is a 8-minute video. And if you look, these are all the different clips and chunks and pieces that I have here in this 8-minute video. I didn't count, but I'll guess and just say maybe for this 8-minute video I have, I don't know, let's just say 100 different things. I can zoom in, so I'm adjusting this so I can zoom in and better see my clip. So this is a clip, that's a clip, that's a clip, that's a clip. So moving on. Another tip for you. If you notice, I have lots of blank space before I start my video. And I did that so just in case if I added something before it, or like so I started here. So then when you start a video, you should have a couple seconds of, like, let's say black screen or something like that. So when somebody pushes play, it doesn't start right away. It's just like 1 or 2, okay, then ready. And then also if I messed up and maybe I needed to add something before it or a title screen or something like that, so that allowed me some wiggle room. And I can cut, I'm not going to have 15 seconds of black space, but I can cut that black space down to like right here or something like that. Same thing at the end. Give yourself some space at the end as well. And then so you can add things and so on. And then also a couple seconds of black space. Video effects. So after you have your sequence done, that's when you want to start adding some video effects. Different examples would be like speeding the video up, making it look like it's moving really fast, slowing it down for like slow motion, maybe like doing layers of video on top of each other, and like doing maybe one's transparent. Here's another video effect. For this section, for when the cars show up, I have them speed up, look like they're going really fast, and then at a certain point in the music, it's like, and then that's when I have that's when I switch it to slow motion. So fast speed here, and then bam, slow motion, and tie it in with the song. Next thing here, I have this flag. So this flag, it eventually cuts to slow motion, and then it actually then starts to go transparent. So, and then you can see the clip that's underneath it. So this flag is an upper layer. It's like a layer on top that you can see, and then it goes to slow motion, and then it goes transparent. So see that? Check that out.
Attention on the grounds! Attention on the grounds! Make way for the Ferraris. As a special part of our show, the Ferrari Club will be taking a lap around the show field. Please cheer them on as they make their way to their paddock. Let's hear it for the Ferrari.
So those are some examples of some simple video effects. Title screens and text. So at some point in your commercial or film or whatever you're making, you're most likely going to have some sort of title screens or text, whether it's at the intro or at the end you have credits, or like bam on the screen, 1999, buy this now, 1999 or whatever. So here's an example of some title screens I have here, and I have 4. So just to start out here, I have 4. They're layered on top of each other, and then I actually have them doing effects. So I can have these title screens actually doing effects. So if I go on Effect Controls on Adobe Premiere, I can change the size of them. I can change the position. Do I want upper left, upper right? Do I want it enlarged? And then I can actually make it do adjustments while it's playing. So the clip itself has a sequence, and I can have that clip, let's say as it's going on, it can enlarge and move to the upper left or something like that, or whatever. So here's an example of the text. Some text, some titles. And I have them zoom kind of in the background there with the car. Once you get to this point, then it's a good time to start adding video transitions. So you add video transitions because when you go from a clip to a clip, if you don't have a transition, it's just an abrupt bam into the next one. And sometimes it's okay to do that. It's definitely sometimes okay to do that. Like maybe like an action commercial or something like that. That's when it's like bam, 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 fast. Maybe you don't need the transition. But when it's something that you want maybe look a little bit more polished, especially something that is a little bit slower, you're going to want some sort of transition. The transition should not be disruptive. What some people tend to do is they want to put in a fancy transition where it maybe gets pixelated and transitions, or maybe it's like the screen rolls, and like that stuff is usually very annoying and disruptive from the message and mood that you're trying to portray with your film. What I usually like to do is I just like to do a simple cross dissolve. So from one clip to the next, between them, they just kind of like they cross dissolve a little bit. You can kind of see each one, they kind of fade into each other, and you can adjust those transitions, make them longer or shorter. So here's an example of a transition. So we have this scene, it's the street scene, and then it's going to go into the yellow Ferrari like that, zoomed in like that. So I'm going really slow here, and you can see how it's kind of cutting between, or this is a dip to black. This one's not a cross dissolve, this one's a dip to black. I like to use dip to black when it's like changing from a different section. So this screen here, this is my like intro section, my intro section, and then it's then going to start the movie or the short film. So then that's to me is like a section. It's a section change. So going from dip to black to then that comes up. Here's an example of a cross dissolve. So it's a driving part of the film, 2 different driving clips, back view, and then back view without the back of the car. So they're related, same section, and just a simple cross dissolve. You can kind of see both through there. Another thing, so like for this section, when I have these 4 different clips out the same time on the screen, I have these fade in and fade out, just because it looks nicer. And they all fade out. Once you get your video, your whole sequence done, and you have the video transitions in there and those types of things, then that's usually a good time to start playing with and adding in your music. It is okay to have, like, you really should have a list of songs that you think you want to use, and try a couple different ones and just see what feels right or what fits best with the video. And you really want to try and connect it with the video. Maybe there's certain things in the song that the beat or something like that connects with some of your video clips. And so what you might have to do is you might have to adjust your video clips. You might have to shorten them, lengthen them, add something, move them around to then match better with that song. I'll show you an example of where the song that I chose matches well with the video I have on screen. It's also an effect. So once the song goes to this, when it goes to this, it's like a koo, psh, koo, psh, and then it like goes in and out with kind of like the color. And I don't use it too much because it could be distracting. It's just like a little touch that happens one time to just try and keep the film interesting. And then I already showed you this part here, but it's like with the. So then with that song, with the change in the song, then some like the mood changes in the film or something happens on the screen. So really you want to match up the video with your audio, with the song and so on. So once you have your music in, then you'll want to add audio transitions. For these songs, it shouldn't just start abruptly, like depending on what you're doing. Usually you're going to want to fade it in and then fade it out. And then you can actually, like, let's say at a point you're talking, you can bring the volume of that music down, bring it back up when you're done talking. So you can really play around. In most editing programs, you can play around with the editing of that. So once you're done, like once you have 1 through 7 done, your sequence should look something like this. It should look just like a crazy amount of different things on there, and you should be able to see all these different things. You should have watched it, like each time you add a section, watch it. Have somebody else watch it. Really, really think about it, reflect on it, and see how you can improve it. For this film, I don't know how many times I've watched it, even in full. I mean, it's definitely over 100 times. And to really just try and really, like, you want to really just make sure you're happy with it and really try and perfect it. And once you put it out there, it's basically done. So after you've watched it like 100 times, you're super happy with it, you've done just about everything you can, really tweaked it, got those details ironed out, and you've had somebody else assess it and really give you some feedback as well on what's good about it, what's not, how to improve it, and then you made those changes as well, then you're ready to export. It depends on your editing program how you export it and to what type of file. So basically exporting is, what happens is it compresses the video and then you get to choose the resolution and so on. So when you choose the resolution for our projects, if you can do HD, like 1080p is example of an HD resolution. And then choose a format that will work on most computers. So I think MP4 is definitely what a lot of ones use. That was a ton of information. That was kind of like editing in a nutshell. Kind of just quick, bam, bam, bam. Really, we could have spent 10 minutes just talking about video transitions, but this should be enough to kind of get you going, get you some thoughts, give you some tips and tricks and where to start. Thanks for checking this out, and have fun.